What's up guys? I saw in my analytics the other day that a lot of you guys were actually teens or young adults, so today we're gonna do a video specifically for people that are a little bit younger in age, so here are my best money tips for teenagers and young adults. Let's start with the thing that, in my opinion, will change your life the most, which is thinking like an investor rather than a consumer. And that's a different mentality that you guys need to have if you want to be successful with money in your life. Because we live in a consumer society in which if you don't consume enough, people will look at you strangely, and that's not something you want to do, especially when it comes to money, because the more you consume, of course, the less money you're gonna have. So what is the opposite of this kind of behavior? And that's actually to invest your money, because you don't consume anything, and on the other hand, you make even more money by kind of spending your money. So the biggest thing that you need to understand with that is to set a difference between assets and liabilities, or as I like to call it, guns and butter. And if you guys never heard about guns and butter, well, the way it works is that guns in the first place are assets. And what an asset is something that you buy, but that is supposed to give you back something in return. For example, when you invest into the stock market, you buy stocks. Well, you're not really spending your money, since these stocks can bring you value back by either giving you dividends, so cash payments, or by going up in value, and when you sell them, you get more money. But there are other ways in which you can use your assets. For example, something that will give you more time is also an asset, because the more time you have, the more money you can make by using this time. And sometimes you have to spend money on assets if you want to grow in the future. For example, just having a coffee machine at your house. Well, this way you are not spending your money on Starbucks, and over the long term, it's something that is making you money, or at least is making you save more money. And you have to understand that having more assets than liabilities, or having pretty much only assets, is the best way for you to grow wealth, to grow richer, and to make more money overall. So every single time in the future you guys are buying something, I want you to remember and ask you this question: is it a gun or is it butter? And if it's a gun, then of course buy it. Not a real one, of course. But if it's butter, maybe you can buy from time to time liabilities. It's great to treat yourself, but don't do too much and too often, otherwise you will end up like a consumer, which we don't want to be. And of course, buying assets also means that you need to invest your money. That's like the purest way of buying assets. It's by investing your money, for example, in stocks. If you don't know anything about the stock market, you can learn a lot about this on the channel or on other YouTube channels if you want to. And yeah, if you invest into stocks, of course, you're gonna grow richer in the future. That's how it works. But there are other ways to invest into assets. For example, you can invest into real estate. And of course, I know it's a lot of money that you need to start investing into real estate, but as soon as you can, you should absolutely do it, because this is one of the safest way to earn money, by buying assets and over the long term having a lot of profitability. But even if you don't have enough money to invest into real estate, I want you guys to start thinking about it right now. But overall, what I want you to do is to use your money to create more money. Even creating your own business is a way for you to actually buy assets in some way. But if you are on the younger side of the spectrum, there is another way for you to invest and save more money, is by just cutting down on recurring expenses. Because for example, if you are 18 years old and you still live with your parents, of course you are not spending any money on rent, utility, and all that stuff that we don't want to pay. And that is a recurring expense that you don't have to take care of. Just the rent is such a big deal, because when you start growing older and you have your own apartment, this is going to take a huge part of your expenses with rent. So if you are 18 and you are still comfortable living with your parents, there really is no excuse for you to stay with them. You are saving more money, and over the long term, this money that you make at 18 years old will make the biggest difference overall. But some other recurring expenses that you can find and that you can easily make more money with are, for example, Netflix, Spotify, and all these online subscriptions that you are paying. If you cut down on them, you are gonna be able to save way more money, because remember, these are monthly expenses and we don't really think about it that much when we're younger, but of course this is gonna take a huge part of your money away, because you're gonna have to pay this money every single month. So think about it. Do you really need your Netflix account? Do you really need Spotify? Do you really need all these online subscriptions that are paid, of course? And if the answer is no, of course you can cut down on this really easily. Now, there are a lot of other ways to save more money and overall invest more money. For example, by cutting down on clothing. If you don't go shopping every single weekend, of course you're gonna save so much more money than other people. That's something that I'm doing a lot. I actually don't like to shop that much, because it always feels like I'm wasting money on things that over the long term are gonna be useless for me. But it's the exact same thing that going to a restaurant to eat. Of course, it's nice from time to time to treat yourself, as we said before with the guns and butter. You can have some butter from time to time as long as it's not a big part of your money. But of course, if you can minimize the times where you go out to eat, you're gonna save more money. If you save more money, you can then invest more money and overall make more money. And of course, something really important that you need to understand is that the earlier you start investing your money, the earlier you can make it work for you, the bigger impact it will have over the long term. Because let's say you invest some money that is growing 7% per year. Well, over the long term, you're gonna see an exponential growth of income. If your portfolio grows 7% per year, over the long term, these 7% will be bigger and bigger. So the earlier you start, and that's really important, the more money you're gonna make. So start saving every single dollar you can and invest as much as you can as early as possible. And by the way, guys, if you like what you're seeing on the channel here, don't forget to click the bell notification to be notified every single time I upload a video, and to like this video also, because you know the YouTube algorithm doesn't like me that much. So if you like this video, YouTube is gonna send you hearts and a lot of money. But speaking about earning money, there is another way for you, even if you're not 18 and you can't invest yet, to make a lot of money, and that's by investing in yourself. Start learning about things that are interesting to you, start learning about personal finance by subscribing to this channel right now. But also there are a lot of other tools online. I'm not the only channel speaking about personal finance on YouTube, so there are a lot of videos that are completely free that you can go and watch over the platform that will help you a lot about this. But you can also buy courses from creators that are already successful, that really know how to do stuff. So I would recommend buying courses from creators that you really trust and that you know can give you great results. But if you don't feel comfortable using money to buy things from people you don't really know, well, of course you can just watch videos on YouTube and learn a lot of stuff from that. So I will definitely recommend learning from YouTube and from courses if you can. Now, while investing into yourself sounds really cliche, it's actually something that is one of the most valuable thing you can have, one of the most valuable assets that you can buy. Because all the knowledge that you are learning right now will be useful for the rest of your life. So the earlier you learn about these tips, about these ways to earn more money or to invest your money and all that stuff, the bigger impact it's gonna have over the long term on your life. And some great way actually to learn about these things are to read books. And there are a few books that I highly recommend you guys read that I have myself and that actually helped me a lot to start to invest. So for example, there's the little book of Common Sense Investing, which will teach you all the basics and all the basic knowledge that you need when you start investing, which is really important in my opinion. There's also Think and Grow Rich that will help you with that, or the 4-Hour Work Week. All these books are really helpful, and I highly recommend you guys invest into that so that you learn stuff and then you don't make mistakes over time. But of course, if you buy these books and you read them, the most important thing about it is that you implement what you learn. Because of course, if you just read passively a book and you don't do anything about it, you're not gonna grow at all. So of course, implement what you learn from these books. And the last point that I want to talk about in this video is actually about your life choices, because it's really easy to make choices when we feel forced to. And I don't want you guys to do things that you don't want to do overall and that are gonna make you miserable and that are gonna make you lose money overall. So these choices are, in my opinion, really important. For example, the first one is, do you really want to go to university or not? Because if you don't feel like this is the exact thing that you want to do in your future, maybe it's not worth it to do so, especially if you live in the US where this is so expensive to do university. Think twice about it, or even more than twice, I would even say. If you don't feel sure about what you're gonna do, maybe try other options first so that you really know that this is what you want to do. The second big choice that you're gonna have to make, and that's in my opinion also something really important in your life, is, do I want to work at a 9-to-5 job, or do I prefer being self-employed, having my own business and all that stuff? So as soon as you can, start thinking about it. Because of course, some people are really miserable in their 9-to-5 job. So of course, if you feel like you're gonna be in this position, maybe try creating yourself a business, a way for you to earn money, make money, and overall live with what you like to do. And the last thing is, do you want to take risk or not? Because the younger you are, the more risk you can take in life, especially for example with your investments. If you invest in the stock market, you can take more risk if you are younger, but when you get older, it starts getting interesting to maybe invest into safer dividend stocks, for example. These are just 3 out of millions of choices that you're gonna have to make in your life, but think about them again and and really know what the answer is to all of these questions. But if you guys are new on the channel, you can go and watch one of these two videos right here that can help you out to make more money or to start investing. If you like the kind of content on this channel, we speak about personal finance, investing, and all kind of stuff related to money. So of course, subscribe to the channel if you want to see more, and I'm gonna see you guys in the next one.